Hi, this is Suzanne in Ohio. I have a little project here, which was inspired by something I saw at the thrift store. Um, there was a print, it was a paper print of something that had been done on a piece of old quilt, and it had this cute little saying on it. And I thought, wow, I can use that idea. I had a special person to make this for, so I'll show you what I came up with. This is what I ended up with, but here's how it started. Um, I had an old cutter quilt, worse than a cutter quilt. I mean, falling apart quilt, but it had some decent um, blocks still left on it, and they were this Dresden plate. So I thought that could be my background, and I could embroider the saying, the quote, on top of it. Well, I got this far on it, and I really hate it. Um, I don't like how the words seem to disappear into the background, but I will finish this and keep it for myself, and maybe somehow I'll be able to redeem it. I don't know. But anyways, it's almost done. But the saying says families are like old quilts. Although they tend to unravel at times, each can be stitched back together with love. And there's quite a few nice little sayings that pertain to quilts. Another one says, anyone who sleeps or those that sleep under a quilt are covered with love. So I might end up doing that one as well. But because I didn't like this, I switched gears and I went to this. Now the Dresden plate is the background, and what I ended up doing was taking a piece of um, fabric, and I wrote the words on there. I wrote the saying on there with a micron pen, and I did it in little dashes so that it looks like it's stitched, and that worked out better for me. That's just too much embroidery with all those words, and to get it just right, I didn't like it. So this is what I ended up with, and I paneled it off like an inset, put a little piece of black behind it like it shows up like a border, and then I cut out these scraps and created this little house tree and a heart and a little bit of stitching. I could have done more embroidery on this, but it was just going on and on, so I stopped where I was. But anyways, you could doctor this up even further. You could make it more intricate or less, depending on what you like. And I stitched my pieces on with a very visible, some are crisscross stitches, some are running stitches, and some are just in and out, stitches. I wanted to keep it kind of primitive, kind of country looking, and I just grabbed in my scrap bag and got whatever I could find. So I mounted this whole thing on, and I'll tell you what's in here, although I can't show you. A piece of felt, or you could use quilt batting, and a backing, so there's 3 layers pertaining to the top. And then what I did was I covered another piece of heavier pellon, and I folded it forward like a package so that this green goes under the edge, and then just laid this down and stitched it all around here and there so that it wouldn't get droopy over time. I learned that lesson on some other projects. Even though it's pressed down real nice, maybe even starched, maybe even has a little bit of fusible web in there somewhere, I've learned to stitch things where I want them to stay because over time, fabric tends to drape and droop, and I wanted it to stay nice. So that's how I did this piece. So I got to thinking about this cutter quilt that I have. This came to me in a bunch of stuff that somebody gave me, and it was a complete top. It had some rags of a backing and stuffing still attached to it, but by the time I put it through the washing machine, there wasn't much left of it. And what I'm going to do is put some of these together as a little kit on my Etsy site. So you'll get a nice Dresden plate, not one of these. This is the only one I could grab right here, and this is pretty far gone. But a decent Dresden plate, and then all the scraps that you need to create this little design, and then I'll give you a pattern, and then I'll print or I'll write all the little words on the piece of fabric right here. So you get the word saying and all the scraps, and you can put yourself together one. It'll be on my Etsy site in a couple days with all the pieces and parts. But let me flip this over again. How I put this together for hanging is the classic way to hang a quilt or a fabric piece, which has these two triangles. Now, I won't give you the backing or the triangles. You can make that out of anything that ends up matching or looking good with what colors you have on the front. But isn't that a lovely little piece? It's kind of whimsical, it's kind of country, it's kind of primitive, or it can go in any kind of traditional house. But such a nice sentiment for people that really love their family. And you could even change these words if you wanted to and say something about how friends are stitched together, no matter the distance. So you could be creative with it. And I hope you'll check out my Etsy site over the next uh, few days. We're here just, what, about 8 days before Christmas? I've lost track. Anyways, whatever it is, um, a nice project to work on after the holidays. All right, hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you so much. Uh, Give me a thumbs up if you like it. And thank you for being my subscribers. I appreciate it very much. And we're coming to you today from a cold, snowy Northeast Ohio weather. Not much snow, maybe only 2 inches, and it is going to get warm enough for it to all melt off in a day or so. But I wanted to get these documented and a YouTube video made, which many of you have heard me say before. I document these things basically for my, not only to show you or to show what's on my Etsy site, but for my own record keeping. Works wonderful. All right, hope you have a great day, and I hope you're creating something. All right, bye for now from Northeast Ohio.